Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the next class of Cybersecurity Bootcamp. Let's get started for the day where we left yesterday. So yesterday we discussed about IP spoofing and we saw that how public IP spoofing can be done using Tor, and then we also saw how to trace it down by using different websites. Then we discussed about what is MAC address, and we discussed that MAC address can be fetched by using the command called catmac. Today I'm going to demonstrate you how we can change the MAC address, which is not recommended. I will ask nobody to practice this right now because this will disconnect you from the internet and as well as from the meeting. So this will be just a demonstration to spoof your MAC address. So let me show you quickly. And after that we will start our next topic. So I'm going to do it in my virtual box so that even I should also not be disconnected from the meeting. Till then, any doubts you have from whatever we have done, you can post in the chat box. I'll try to answer that. Uday, your IP address is coming wrong. What does that mean? Maybe you are using an ISP. Just confirm that. Okay, so sorry for that. There was a power fluctuation, so network was disconnected. I have to go to my backup network. So how to change your MAC address? So what I will be doing is I will be showing it with an example of one tool that we use that's called TMAC. TMAC. Okay, seems not to be connected on my virtual machine. Okay, back to the connection. Let's try it now. So I'm searching for TMAC, Technetium MAC address changer. So this is a utility which is made in India software. It's recommended only if you have proper knowledge to use. Otherwise, it's not recommended to use this, because if you are using this, it might change the address of the network interface card and it will be problem to connect to internet. So you have to be careful. So I'm downloading it from here. You can download it. It's a small zip file of 2.1 MB which has been downloaded. So I'm going to my downloads, and that's what I have downloaded just now. I'm going to unzip it. Okay, so that's the setup file that I wanted. So I have got it. I'm going to run the setup file. Next, agree, next, everything to default. Finish. Now if you will see, I have got this TMAC logo here, icon. So first of all, let me confirm my MAC address to all of you. CMD. The command I told you yesterday was get MAC. We are seeing how to spoof MAC address. So you see, this is my MAC address. It starts from 08, ends at 59. So now this is my original MAC address of this system. So if I connect to internet and if I do anything, I try to do shopping, I try to do browsing, anything. So Google or another vendor, whichever website I'm using, because of my different websites and all, they all know my details, my location, my system basic information. But as a cyber analyst or as a cyber user, I should be aware that nobody should be, having the details about my privacy. So what I'll do is I'll change my MAC address, and changing IP address already we have seen yesterday. So what I'll do is I'll use this tool called TMAC to do that and show you all. So see, this is my original MAC address. And now, yes, your MAC address can be easily stored by anyone, or anybody can extract it. What they can do is they can create a malware which will run a script on your system which will execute this getMAC command or any other command on your system as a CMD, and then the details will be sent to the server or to that destination from where that mail has received or from where that link was received. Okay, so then your MAC address can be compromised. Not only MAC address, any other things can also be compromised in that way. So we have to be very careful when we are downloading or installing or trying to access any particular link. We have to be very careful. Okay, let's come to the point. So this is what we have, the original MAC address. I'm going to change it now, and now you will see my IP address. Let me show you my IP address of this machine. IP config. So the IP address of this machine is totally different. It's 10.0.2.6. That's because of my adapter that is bridging the virtual network between my host computer and this virtual computer. So this is a network provided by my adapter. Okay. Now, if your MAC is compromised, then anybody can access your system data remotely, can actually manipulate the files on your system. Okay, can do a lot of things if your MAC address is compromised. So what I'll do is Hariharan, by default VirtualBox is having their own virtual network. So you can see if I go to the settings, if I show you for network, it's using a NAT network. By default, it's using a NAT network. We have many of them, but by default, it's uses a NAT network to connect. Network address translator. So each, the software which we use for creating a virtual machine is automatically taking care of that. So, okay, guys, so this data is now monitored. This is my MAC address, and this is my IP address, private IP address. I'll change both of them and show you with this tool. I'm going to start this tool and be very careful. You don't have to use it. Yes, it's made by Shreyash. It's made in India software. Now you will see all the network connections listed here in your system. So see, right now I'm seeing the MAC address. This one is operational. This one is non-operational. So right now by default, non-operational is selected. I have to select the operational one. Okay. The moment I select the operational one, you will see a graph starts being plotted here. So this means your incoming and outgoing packets of data from your system to the internet. Okay. So that shows your receiving and sending packets speed. So we have to change this operational MAC address. So here you can see this is my original MAC address. Now I can define the MAC address here one by one manually, or there are many MAC address list available here which you can use. Like we have from HP, we have from Samsung, we have from Huawei, Motorola, TP-Link. Okay, we have from Apple, we have from Cisco, we have from Texas. Okay, we have a lot of MAC addresses available. So I can use any one of them. I have many of them from Apple and corporations. Okay, and then the list is very big from Samsung, from Con. So you can select any one of these. So let's take any one randomly. So what should we take? It's your LG. Let's take from LG. It's a very famous brand which used to be, but now not that much famous. So I'm going to use the MAC address of LG company. This is the MAC address which I will be using now. Okay. And I'll say that use 02 as a first MAC address. If you want to know why, it's because of the issue with the TMAC software. It recommends to use 02 in the beginning. So I'll check that, no problem. And then this is the LG MAC address which I'm going to use. Now guys, you will see the moment I will click on change now, by this network adapter here, this will disconnect automatically. Okay, you see what happens when I click on change now. It says MAC address was changed successfully, and my network here. Okay, let's confirm it first. So let's go to command prompt and write here get MAC, and no, you can see my MAC address has not changed. That's why it was not able to disconnect. Let me select it again and say use 02 as a random MAC address. Let's use anyone. So let's use now from, let's take anyone from Apple. Let's take from Apple. Okay, then click on change now. No, it has still not changed, because if it will change, the machine will disconnect from the internet. Let's take a random MAC address and click on 02. Ethernet operational. Okay, select a random MAC address and use this. Change now. Says, but here it's still showing. This is showing inactive. Is there any update? Let's apply and see if it is going to do any effect. Okay, so now it has disconnected and it says was changed successfully. Now my network is disconnected. Seems my MAC has changed. Let's confirm now. Yes. So now you can see my MAC address has changed. And now if I get my private IP address, so you see IP address IPv4 is not available first of all. And IPv6 is also different. If you see here FE80C5, it's 25E1 FEE4, and here it's C501518. So your private IP address is also changed. Now you see I got IPv4 address that says 02.11 and earlier it's 02.6. So I'm in the same network, but I'm using somebody else's IP address. Okay, and my MAC address is now different. So if now CyberCell wants to trace me, they will be getting my changed MAC address details along with the IP address that is trying to impersonate some other user. If I want to retrieve back, I'll go back to the same tool, select the network and click on restore original. That's all. Restored successfully. Okay. Give it some time. The network will connect. Till then you can check, get MAC, and your MAC address is back. And now you can check your IP address as well. IP config. Give it few time to run an IP address. Tor only changes your public IP address, and here you go. I've got my IP address back. Okay, so this is the software tool, you can say, that is used at a beginner level. But you have to remember, guys, if you're using this tool, you have to be very careful with which particular adapter you are selecting here, because if you select the wrong one, it will change the wrong one. So you have to make sure that which one is operational, which you want to change, whether operational or non-operational. And then you can change the options accordingly. Yes, for virtual machine, you will get an IP from the adapter, your virtual network adapter, which you have used in the software. That will be providing a virtual IP. Okay. So this I have shown you on Windows only. This is an example of on Windows machine. May why Tor is not working? You will get an option to connect and configure once you start the Tor after downloading and installing. So you can click on option called connect and then will automatically connect. So Niranya, what are you Niranjan using? You are using which VirtualBox or Oracle, or you are using some other product like from VMware something? VirtualBox. So VirtualBox will automatically configure it if you're using the correct ISO file. If you're using the correct image file with proper configurations, then it will automatically connect once you start deploying it. So in VirtualBox, you can simply go to Google and type Microsoft Edge, and then you will get this to install. Okay, so this was about MacAfis. Now let's move to next topic, guys, of reverse engineering. So now let's use those tools, softwares which I have given you, everyone. So let me share my screen to everyone, then we will start. Give me a minute. Okay, so when I shared you, yes, we are starting reverse engineering now. Next topic, reverse engineering. So what is reverse engineering, guys? Reverse engineering means when you try to debug the application, okay, try to debug the entire code of an application and try to bypass some flaws or try to exploit any vulnerability of an application or a tool. Like for example, you have an application that have a trial version of 10 days, and after 10 days it's asking you to buy a license or purchase a license, and then only you will be able to use all the features or something like that. So if you want to debug it, and if you see if there is any flaws which can be manipulated, and then that can be bypassed to overcome that particular registration or license page, then you can use that tool for lifetime free of cost. Okay, so these are done for both the ways, for good and for bad. For good, it's always for testing purpose. They keep on testing and they keep on finding if there's any vulnerability, if that application or that tool can be debugged, and if there's any vulnerability, they try to find out. And if you find a vulnerability and if you exploit it, that's a not a good cause. And after finding the vulnerability, if you try to disclose it and remove that vulnerability and then patch it, then that's a good cause. So it can be done for both the ways, for both the intention, good and bad, but mostly it's actually used in testing environments where you debug your code. So when I say debug, that is means you are opening the binaries of your application basically, guys. Because whenever you have a .exe file, that is an executable file on Windows, that is actually running in binaries, okay? So you open that binary code of those .exe file, and then you try to manipulate some text code logic there that is written by the programmer and see if it works in your favor. So I'll show you a small demonstration. First you will see it and then you will perform it. Okay, so this is not advised, to try on any other products that we are using except in this training. If you do so, you are sole responsible if anything goes wrong. I don't know you, I don't know any one of you, okay? So you have to be careful that this, if you are using, should only be used for testing purpose. This should not be taken as a advantage to try to exploit the flaws of any explanation. So please be careful, everyone. This is what we're learning, it just for educational purpose. So mark my words, if anything goes wrong and if your IP and MAC address is traced by cybercell, then I don't know you. I have not conducted any cybersecurity boot camp. You and me are two different worlds then. Okay, let's get started then. So I gave you a software link where you have downloaded this Power Archiver and Power ISO. I'm going to show it on any one, then you will try it for the other one. Okay, so I'm going to show it for Power Archiver basically. I'm going to install this first of all. Yes, all of you install Power Archiver, please. It's an archiver tool that's just like WinRAR. It's an archiver software just like WinRAR. Okay, so that's the installation. The moment after installation, it asks me that you have 1 year of license. After that, it will be expired. And then I have to buy the Power Archiver. I can say I agree, and then I can, use it. But here it shows unregistered in that case, and I will not be able to use it like, for the entire features. So what I want to do is, this is the icon. When I open it and when I write enter registration code, okay, so let's say I'm giving the name as Anshu and the registration code also I'm giving as Anshu. When I click on OK, it's giving me incorrect registration information, of course, because I have not taken a license, so it's not valid. Now what I want to bypass, guys, using reverse engineering, I want to bypass this. I want to bypass this registration process. I want to use this application free of cost for lifetime. Pratik, I already have shared the link on the other day. I request any other participant, if you have that link of Google Drive, please share in the chat. I'll make the chat public so that everybody can read it. Okay, thank you, Black Hat Hacker. So those who don't have the software link, you can use this link to download. So guys, yep. So you have to be very careful. Yes. So I told you that there is a keylogger. So Google will not allow you to download keylogger from there. Just try to download Power Archiver, Power ISO, and Ollie Debugger. Only these three. Okay, guys, let's move back. See here, guys, reverse engineering is not simple process. Each software is having their own additional steps. You have to be very smart, first of all, to identify that how you have to proceed when you are doing reverse engineering. So everybody now listen to me attentively. What we will be doing is, first of all, whenever you open any application, okay, and when you are doing a registration, it will ask you for the credentials to log in. If you are entering a credential which is not valid, it will always give you a message saying that incorrect registration or username not valid, something like this. Username does not exist. So every time, every tool, every software, every application have their own error messages. You have to be a very good viewer and try to identify the each message. Okay, that if you are giving a wrong username which does not exist, what message we are getting. If we are giving the correct username but wrong password, of course the message will change. The message will say incorrect password. But if username is not valid, it will say invalid username. So these type of messages are defined where? In the backend of the application. But how can we access the backend? Because that is an executable file. So it's a binary file. So we open that in our debuggers to do it debugging. And this entire process is called reverse engineering. Okay, so my message here says incorrect registration information. Okay, great. I'll leave it like this. I'll do what? I'll go to my Oli debugger and Oli DBG. This is an exe file, that application. I'll right click. This is a very important step. To use a debugger, you should be an administrator. So when you're running your exe file, please run that as an administrator. You can directly right click and run the administrator. Please do not double click. Otherwise, it will not work. So you can follow instructions with me, guys. When you open your Oli debugger, it might give you any error message or something. Click on OK, ignore it. If some windows open, you can close those windows. No problem. You should see a blank screen with a menu options and toolbars. All of you, please complete till here. Then I'll proceed. First, install your Power Archiver and then check the error message. Then open your Oli debugger as an administrator. Three steps I have done. All of you confirm once you have done. I have approximately 100 participants, more than 100 in this meeting. I want confirmation from at least 70%. I'll go on mute, guys. I'm getting a call. I need to take that. Tell them you just confirm me. Okay, guys, let's continue. Sorry for that interruption. Now go to File and click on Open. What are you going to open, guys? Who will give me a hint? No need to install Oli debugger. Just right click on your exe file of OliDBG and run that file as an administrator. Yes, Hariharan, please. I'll give a permission to unmute yourself, guys. You can directly let me know your doubt, please.
Sir, I'm only having three one of them. One is only debugger, which is a zipped file, and I'm having many files in it.
So first unzip that, okay? And we will be only working with two files, Power
So
ISO. Currently we are working with Power ISO. And inside Oli debugger, you will be having a exe file, which you have to run as an administrator.
so my
Sir, I don't have
or so my
Yes, you
power.
have downloaded, so unzip that.
sir how to do that.
Oh God, seriously. Just right click on that and you'll get an option to extract if you have any tool installed. If not, Windows also gives you a tool to unarchive it. See, this is a zip file, right click and you get an option if you have any unarchiver to archive it. Like I'll show you on my base machine. So let's say this is my zip file. I can right click on this, it will say me to extract, or else you can use open with and you can use WinRAR if you have or anything. Just now if you have installed Power Archiver, you can use Power Archiver also to unarchive that. Okay, let's move ahead, guys. Now, yes, very rightly said. You are going to open the binaries.
So,
Yes.
so like I have installed my Power Archiver just now only. When I have
Hmm.
opened it, it's working like normally. It's showing how what to do and all. It's no
So you're not
working
getting this
normally.
registration code.
No, sir.
Close it,
Yeah, that I
open.
got it.
Yeah, so
Okay,
that's
sir.
what,
Just a minute.
see,
I'm doing.
if you are getting this registration code, if you try to enter code will not accept, right? We're trying to bypass this. Okay.
Yes, sir. So
Yeah.
now
Now
I've
let
done
me,
it.
yes, now let me tell. Open your Oli Debuggy as a
Sir,
administrator. Yes.
sir, which version of OD debugger should I install?
Please don't
Sir, do
download
you know
from the
why?
internet. It
Sir,
will be giving a problem. Please use the link which I have shared.
Sir,
Because if you
I don't
go
know why.
from
where is it?
internet, if you go from here, Oli
Chat.
Debugger download. Okay, let me see which
I
version
don't
they
know
have.
suddenly what happened. Like I was running my Power Archiver, my desktop got shut down.
Oh no, nothing with that. You must have pressed something. You can use 1.10 version, no problem.
Okay, sir.
I shared the link.
I don't know why it got shut down, sir.
Okay, guys, after this, what I will do is I'm completing it. You please complete the steps after watching the recording because we have the time constant. So after opening your Oli Debuggy as a administrator, go to file, open, and whenever you install a software, it goes to your C drive. So go to your this PC, open your C drive, go to program files into 86. That's the directory where your file application files are installed. And inside this, you will see a folder called Power Archiver. So again, I repeat the path.
Sir, can you
This
repeat again,
PC,
sir?
yes, this PC, C drive, program files into 86, and then you will see Power Archiver. And inside Power Archiver, you will see an Power Archiver.exe file. This is the file which we are going to open, powerarc.exe. So whenever I click that icon on the desktop, this file is called and is executed. So I'm going to run this binaries. Yes, you will get the recording of this class. You will get the recording of every class in your Telegram group, guys. Thank you. I'm going to open this file now. Please let me complete this. I'll not, please don't ask me any doubts in between now. Let me complete this first. Let me see if it works or not. So going to open my .exe file, click on open. When I open, it will load the binaries, give it some time. See, there is a progress bar at the bottom of your screen. Now this is where your binary is open, make it full screen. And you will see there are different sections of the windows, quite confusing, looks very interesting. Now you should be seeing there is an option here for play your debug. Okay, there is a play button just next to pause. There is a play button just next to pause. I repeat, there's a play button just next to pause. You have to click on that play button and wait for it at the bottom until you get paused. So you see it's running now. So everything looks good. So when it is running, that means your debugger is ready now. Now here on the topmost part of a screen, right click, search for, we are looking for that text. So search for all reference text strings. Search for all reference text strings. So our string message was incorrect something. We will check that message again. So we are searching for that string, that where that string is defined in this binaries. So search for all reference text strings. When I click on this, it will open a new window again for me. Perfect. And I can see some strings here. What was my string is what I need to find now. So again, I'll maximize this screen now. That shows me text strings reference. I'll open this window in full screen mode and I'll say right click and search for text. And now I will write that text. So in that text, let me confirm again. What was the text? Enter registration code, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So message is incorrect registration information. Okay. In which I is in uppercase. Perfect. So going back to my this incorrect, you can use some initial characters or you can type the entire word. Let's go with the specific, at least 2 words to make it more specific. Incorrect registration, click on entire scope to search in the entire file and then click on OK. The moment you click on OK, you see this line has got highlighted that shows incorrect registration information. Please try entering the code you have received. So perfectly, I have got that line that was being displayed as an error message to me. Showing you again, you can cross verify. Please try entering the code you have received again. If you, and then the line continues. So now I need to bypass this.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, can you repeat that process? Also, I'm getting little bit confused, sir.
Okay. See, I repeat it. I'll not able to complete it. So let me complete. Then you watch the recording. Try it. If not able to do, I'll tell it again tomorrow. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Make sense? Sounds good.
Sir, makes sense, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So when I search for the string, guys, those who have done well and good, those who have not, please see here. This is where I can see this line highlighted. Now I need to double click very carefully on this line. I want to debug this line. So double click on this line and a new window with only this Unicode lines will open. So this is the Unicode line of that message that says incorrect registration information. Now what you have to notice, guys, above this, you have to check for a condition where you see J and Z. So you can see we have JMP, we have POP. You have to look for the first J and Z. So let's go slowly by slowly. J and Z. And you see here I get J and Z. The first J and Z. J and Z means conditional jumping. One is called jumping directly, JMP. You can jump on any specific line. One is a conditional jumping. So what happens whenever anybody is getting this message, it is by default going back to this, which is going to call this hexacode binary codes. So I'm not going to explain those in details. I'll just tell you the logic here. So see carefully. This is the line which shows my Unicode message of my message which was displayed. Above this, I searched for first J and Z. Now this J and Z sometimes can be immediately above this, can be sometimes more than 10 lines above, 20 lines above, 100 lines above. But you have to look for the first J and Z. Does this make sense to everyone?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So when you get this J and Z, double click on that and you will see a assembly code will open that shows that J and Z and that this is the assembly code. You don't have to do any changes, only one small change. Change this J and Z to JMP. So we are saying, boss, do an unconditional jump. Don't do any conditional jump. So I'm saying JMP. Just change that JNZ to JMP and then click on assemble. The moment you click on assemble, you see a red color JMP line has been generated and that JNG line has gone. Now you can cancel it. You can close this particular assembly code and you can select, click on that JMP. Okay, don't do double click, single click. It will become in red color. That means you have done changes. Now, after selecting this, again right click and then go to copy to executable all modifications. So we are saying that do this modifications to the entire executable file. So we are saying copy to executable to all modifications. When I do this, and it will ask me a more message, copy to all. So yes, click on copy all. And this is, you will see a new .exe file has been generated with my JMP condition. Perfect. Now I will just save this file. So right click and you can click on save file. So I can save this file with any name, guys. So let's say I'm giving it a name called, what, let's give name, what name should we give? Any name you want to
Ethical
recommend?
hacking.
Oh, let's use a small name.
Cracked.
Hack.
Okay, let's say hacked. Cool, sounds good. Hack.exe, click on save and the file is saved. No error message, nothing. Let's minimize it and test. Still, if you check this file and if you run this, it says, sorry, not correct. I write a valid credentials. So I'll say unshow and then I'll say unshow. It still says invalid. Okay, now I'll close this and quit. I'll go to my C drive where my file is saved. This PC, C drive, program files, Power ISO, no, sorry, Power Archiver, my bad. Power Archiver, and we gave the name hack.exe. Double click and you see the application has opened. Click on registration code, giving the same credentials again, unshow and unshow. Let's try, click on OK. Perfect, registration is accepted. Thank you for purchasing Power Archiver. Looks good. And you see no unregistered message here. So now I can use this application to the fullest. So this is called reverse engineering.
Excuse me, sir.
Yep, please go ahead.
Sir, does this work with Adobe?
Well, it works on any exe file. The only thing you have to put your effort is to find out the logic in the binaries. You
How do
can
you
try
find out?
this. You can try this on
Sir,
any .exe files.
Sir, I'm actually trying it now with Adobe Photoshop, sir.
Well, you see, Adobe is a very big giant company. Don't expect it to be this much easy to reverse engineer it. Okay, a lot of hackers have been trying to do that. So that will be requiring an expertise level of knowledge. So recommended to go with the basic tools in practice. Later on in future, when you will be having a good understanding of the binary codes, then you may try to it and try on Adobe or any other application you want.
Sir,
Sir, in
can you,
ModAPK website, they already unlocked that Adobe Premium and they gave one APK. They put one APK file, sir. We can download it, sir.
Yes. So see, these websites like Adobe and all these, they also give you testing applications where you can try, all your skills. And then if you find our report, you can, if you find a bug, you can report it and they can contact you even, and they can, offer you a good, maybe they may negotiate you on some sort of basic stipend or something to work with you to, remove that bug if they find that that bug is something that can cause them damage and all those things. So they do those type of things also. Okay, guys. So homework for all of you, quickly listen to me. You have to try this by watching the video, and after that, you have to install the other software, that is Power ISO, install it, and then see what is the error message, and then try to reverse engineer it, and then let me know if you can do it tomorrow. Otherwise, I'll show you tomorrow. Okay.
Yes, sir.
No, it's not legal, it's illegal. That's what I'm saying. You have to be very specific with the softwares which you are using. I use these two softwares because they are available, and we have many versions which are freely available, correctly available on GitHub and all those different repositories. So I use this for education purpose. Well, not no problem with this, but we should not try it on something which is going to be creating a problem for all of you. Okay, so that's all for today, guys. See you tomorrow with an expectation that you guys will be good to finish Power ISO reverse engineering. If not, I'll tell you tomorrow once again. Do
Should we do the same thing
contact.
for? Should we do the same thing for Power ISO?
Yes,
ISO
try
2?
it. Search for the message. Try that. Okay.
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
everyone.
Sir,
Thank you.
sir.
but
Thank you.
actually it's not working, sir, for
Bye.
me.
Stay tuned tomorrow,
Bye,
guys.
sir.
Bye. Take care. Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, can we do it on Android? Sir, can we do it on Android?